Hi everyone. So I will be telling you about a difficult conversation, one of the many difficult conversations that I have with my co-teacher. Just a little bit of background context. I am in a fifth grade ICT classroom, and in the fifth grade, we currently had, in a while ago, we had two ICT classrooms, with each classroom having 12 students with special needs. It wasn't until 2 weeks ago that we had some more students that were being referred. Therefore, we had to open a new ICT in the fifth grade, leaving us with three ICT classrooms in the fifth grade. In order to balance things out, administration was thinking taking 4 or 3 students from each of the two original ICT classrooms and putting them in the new ICT. And that way, each ICT classroom would have, instead of 12 children, they would each have about 9 or 8. So the difficult conversation kind of rose when my co-teacher and the other two ICT teachers decided that they did not want their students with special needs to go into the new ICT classroom. What they wanted was to stay with the 12 children that we currently had. Um, the reason that my co-teacher wanted to stay with those kids was because he felt that he had developed a rapport with the children, as so did I. There was also this underlying belief that the teachers in the other classroom, the new ICT, were not capable um, of teaching, which I felt very uncomfortable about because one, I don't know the teachers that well as teachers, and I don't think that I'm anyone to judge whether or not someone should be a teacher. Um, and so he wanted to stay with the 12 children, and my argument was that I think that we should have some of our children go into the new ICT because if there's less students with special needs, that's more individualized time that we can provide. Um, so what ended up happening was that it was basically my co-teacher and the two other ICT teachers against myself. So we all went in and we spoke to administration. I didn't present my rationale or my belief, and what ended up happening was that we stayed with the 12 children, and I didn't say what I thought, and I was very frustrated by it. When I spoke to my co-teacher, I once more explained where I was coming from, where it's not me wanting to get rid of children, it's not me not having a rapport with the children, it's simply me thinking about what's best for them, and not putting myself in a situation where I have to evaluate another teacher. I think that if our principal or anyone else in administration thought that they were not capable of being teachers, they would have done something about it. Um, so my co-teacher and I ended up having a conversation through text, and it was a constant back and forth where he thought that I was being selfish because I wanted to get rid of the children, and I was just thinking about myself and not the children that we had. And I thought that he was being selfish because he did not want to provide what's best for the children. Um, so, needless to say, it wasn't until last week. We have one child who's extremely hyperactive, has a hard time focusing, and he feels that he does not have a relationship with that child. So then he came up to me and he said, I think that this child is one that should be going into the new ICT classroom. So I was pretty frustrated by that because, yes, I thought that from the beginning. Um, and I thought he was being selfish again. He wanted that child to leave only because he had not developed a relationship with him and he did not know how to handle him. Um, Now, what we did was we went to administration again, and the conversation was around, well, if you guys had this feeling at the beginning, if you thought this classroom was not um, a good fit for him, why didn't you say that from the beginning? And I was put in a very uncomfortable situation as a special ed teacher because I had to provide a reasoning for something that I didn't necessarily agree with. Um, Looking back at our conversation now and all our conversations, I think I am trying to be more aware of my nonverbal communication, which is like my body language, my physical expressions, just because I feel that I'm very poker face when talking to him, not necessarily other people, and that's because I'm very aware of myself. I want to make sure that when I'm speaking to him, it's in a professional manner, and I realize that I have to tone that down. Um, and I think that would be the first step in being able to have a not so much difficult conversation anymore. I'm still trying to understand um, how to formulate or how to start a conversation with him, um, and put away that third conversation, that the emotions, how to address them or how not to address them. So I'm still struggling with that. So yeah.